Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm just gonna quickly try to do this like in a 10-minute video. I'm just gonna quickly share my testimony because this weekend was D-Now. A lot of y'all know that I had my Discipleship Now this weekend, and I feel like this weekend I was kind of like called to share my testimony, and I've been waiting to hit 50 subscribers, but I feel like if I share my testimony, a lot of more people will understand like why I want it and why I'm not waiting. So let's get into it. Okay, so started all back in first grade. I've been bullied since first grade for just not fitting, being an outcast, not fitting in, being unpopular, just not being where I am with my. I was getting bullied in first grade, and I was 6 at that time. I didn't know what bullying meant. I didn't know what. I've been in church my whole life. I've gone to church my whole life. I've been to 2 different churches. One of them I won't go back. Well, that'll go later into my testimony, but I was just getting bullied, and I was like, why are these people being so mean? Why is everyone being mean to me? And then 2nd grade rolls around. I kind of took a break from bullying. And 3rd grade was COVID year, and it was a good year. 4th, 5th grade rolls around. I don't want to say this because it isn't true, but 4th and 5th grade, were my first 2 years in a different county, which is pretty much like, it was different for me, and I was new to the school, and I didn't have a lot of friends, so I was kind of like an outcast. And if you don't know what an outcast is someone who pretty much like doesn't fit within society, is like put to the side, kind of. That pretty much is what an outcast is. So I was just like feeling really lost, and I was I'm gonna explain what happened in 4th and 5th grade. So 4th grade, was my first year in a different county. I'm not gonna say my county's name, but it was my first year in a different county, and I got this thing. A kid said, this character's gonna come kill you in your sleep. And at the time, I was like 9, and I didn't know what that character was. I was scared. I was just frightened, and I had to go tell my teacher, and I was just scared, and I was like, what is going on? 5th grade rolls around, and and this is where it gets hard, and I just am like, I can't do this anymore. 5th grade rolls around, and I get nightmares about people just like bullying me, kidnapping me, and there were kids I went to school with that were in those nightmares and were doing those things. So I went to school frightened that was gonna happen, and that's not as a 5th grader. I was frightened to even go to elementary school, and let me remind you, I was already scared to go to that elementary school because that elementary school was like not in a very safe place in that town. So I'm just saying that was not a very good part of the town, and I was just like getting really frightened, and I'm not joking, I literally, every night I went home, whenever I had a nightmare about it, I woke up crying, and for a whole week straight, I would be worried about that thing. I would go to school, not even focusing on my schoolwork. I would be focusing on if I was gonna get like kidnapped, or if I was gonna get, I can't say it on YouTube. I can't say the word, but it starts with R. I can't say the actual word because I probably will get banned off YouTube, and I don't want to, because this platform I'm pretty much trying to spread the gospel. And I was just done. I wasn't really praying back then, but I would go home and I would tell my parents what was happening, and I had literally to go to the counselor 24/7 and talk to the counselor about it. And those kids didn't know nothing about it. They didn't even know that was happening. They were like, it's not happening. And I know probably y'all are like, that you shouldn't be scared of just nightmares. I'm not supposed to be scared going to school. School is supposed to be a safe place. And I was just like really scared and like nervous, and I was confused. I was like, why, God, what is going on? What am I going through? Why is this happening to me? And then around 6th grade, I'm gonna cry, and y'all know I'm gonna cry. My testimony is a really hard testimony. And then 6th grade rolls around. I'm still getting bullied, but it's by different kids because I didn't go to school with these kids. But it's by different kids I was an outcast until this year, by the way. So I'm just reminding y'all that I was not very popular until this year. I'm kind of well known at my school. But like, it was kind of a situation, like, I was getting, okay, so I have a thing called a self-esteem disorder, and girls were making fun of me for it. They would bring me into their friend groups trying to make fun of my friends, and I was like, that's not, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it, and probably a lot of people are gonna not understand what it means if they're non-believers, but I pretty much thought to myself, I was okay. 6th grade, my 6th grade summer, like the summer, I think it was between 5th grade and 6th grade, or 6th and 7th grade, I said, oh, I'm saved. I was not. I said that because I was trying to get help, but I wasn't saved, and I didn't have a relationship with Jesus back then, but now I have a great relationship with Jesus, and I'm so blessed with the friends I have, and if my friends are watching this, I'm so grateful that y'all are in my life, and I'm gonna call my friend out because in 4th grade, I was lost, and I was scared, and she was with me in 5th grade too, and I was lost, and I was scared, and I was just frightened to go to school, but she was there for me, and she's always there for me when I'm at my lowest, so shout out to Cami. Anyways, so I still get bullied by those girls, but I was just getting bullied, and I would get bullied every single day. Like, whenever I focus really hard on like an assignment in school, I moan, so other people moan at me. And by the way, this is a judgment-free zone, so I might. Anyways, I still get bullied to this day, and I still am just. And I was like considered the weird kid back in 6th and 7th grade. And I was just really, I was kind of annoyed with Jesus. I was kind of annoyed with God, and I was like, God, why is this happening? Why are these people persecuting me? What is going on? But as I went through my daily challenges, and as I went through people bullying me, I recognized people are gonna be mean. People are gonna be hateful. People are gonna be disrespectful to you. But you gotta remember that you are worthy. You are worthy. Then you are worth everything. And you're, if y'all don't know the song Made for One, I recommend you listen to it. It's a really good song that's spoken to me a lot. And it's pretty much, and my testimony in the song is Graves in the Gardens, if y'all wanted to know. And it's pretty much, I was lost, and I was just tired. I was like, God, I'm so done. I literally am like just annoyed. I was so annoyed with God, where to the point I would cry myself to sleep, and I'm not joking. I would literally cry myself to sleep because of how bullied I was getting, and I was just lost, and I had no hope. I didn't have no peace, and I didn't really have friends like that who would help me because nobody wanted to be friends with me because I was the weird girl, and I wasn't really. 7th grade rolls around. Y'all, I'm going to cry during my 7th grade year. 7th grade rolls around, and let me remind you, between 6th and 7th grade, I had a church camp that I went to, and I said to myself, I was saved. I was not. I was still full of sin. I wasn't repented. I was not saved yet. And I was just like really, and there was a boy at a church camp who I kind of got involved with, and we were talking for a bit, and my brother was friends with him, so, but then he had a girlfriend the whole time, so that doesn't matter anymore. But I was just like, I thought, oh, he's gonna be my boyfriend, whatever. No, because then I figured out, like, this year that he has a girlfriend. Anyways, he's not really. Anyways, let's get to the point. So, 7th grade rolls around, and it's the beginning of the school year. I have all new classes. There's 2 new boys in my math class this year. And let me tell y'all, I thought these kids were all there. I thought these kids were fine as, like, I thought they were really handsome, like, fine. So I had a class. So, like, at my school, you can work in the library. They stopped it this year, but last year that you could work in the library. I'm in 8th grade, by the way, but last year you could work in the library. So I worked in the library with some 3 kids I knew, and the class, it was like for your connection. So the class before that, there was one of the boys that I liked was in that class. So I would see him walking in and out of the class, and I like had a massive crush on him, and I kind of still do, but I really don't anymore because he has a girlfriend, and it's just, the past is the past. Let's get to the point. So 7th grade rolls around. I have a massive crush on this redhead, and I had a crush on 2 redheads. But I had a massive crush on this one redhead, and everyone in the whole school knew. I had a friend at that time who was tempting me into think that that was her boyfriend, and then she would say that her boyfriend liked me. I was really confused. I was like, that doesn't make sense, really. And I was just, I've already went through a lot back then. And in 6th grade, during 6th grade too, my parents went through a lot, and my family went through a lot. So I was also trying to heal from that. But then other stuff got in, and it just got so, I had too much going on in my life. I was just, and I really did not have anyone who was there for me, and back then. And I really didn't have anyone who could, like, I could talk to about it, and I could just, like, I'm gonna cry. I could just, like, ask, why is this going on? Why is this happening? And I was like, I wasn't mature enough to know why my parents were arguing 24/7. I wasn't mature enough to understand this all. And I was literally, like, crying myself to sleep. I'm not joking. I was, like, bawling my eyes out every night because everything was going wrong in my life, and I was tired, and I was exhausted, and I was just done with God. I was done with everything, and I was literally screaming. Like, I would come home, I would scream to my pillow. I would just scream. I was done. I was overwhelmed. It was stressful. I was just tired and exhausted, and I didn't know what else to do. There was nothing else that could fulfill me, and I had a friend, and I already knew that vapes are bad for you, and I've never done anything like that. Just to tell you, I've never done anything like that. Then I had also another friend, and she did that kind of stuff, and I didn't agree with it that much. So then I had to take her out of my life this year, and that was crazy too, because I was taking people out of my life, and I was like, what is going on? Anyways, so 7th grade, I had a crush on this kid. And the whole school knew, everyone knew, my friend knew. She was trying to get him to say he liked me when she said that she was dating the guy. If you want to know the story, just ask me personally. I will tell you. Anyways. So, like, talk to me in person about it, because I will tell you the whole story. But I was just, like, it was just so crazy for me. And I was just, like, so exhausted and annoyed. And I was just really tired about it. And, like, it pretty much, I was just lost and without hope. But then, one day, this boy knew that I had a crush on him, because the whole school knew. And I kept on thinking that the boy liked me, because that's what my friend tempted me into thinking. By the way, I'm not friends with her anymore. We're never going to be friends ever again, because I do not get along with her, because of that very reason. So, I was just, like, without hope and lost and all kinds of stuff like that, and I was really annoyed. And then this boy I'm not gonna say his name, but he was in 7th grade like me, and we had that library class together. And I pretty much asked him, I was like, can you ask him, because him and the guy I had a crush on were best friends, and I was like, can you ask him if he likes me? And that boy that I was going to my classes, then the boy who was friends with my crush, they met in the hallway, and they're right here, and I'm right behind them, and I'm right behind the kid who I had a crush on. And he screams, kind of low-key, he screams, I hate that fat, ugly nerd. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking when I say this. Let me get up close and personal. I was literally going to class bawling my eyes out. And kids were looking at me like, what is going on with her? I just had pretty much the biggest rejection in my life. And I was like, no, I'm done. And I'm not joking. I was so done, and I was just tired, and I was like, this is the end of it. I'm done. I need something to fulfill me. And I was just tired of it. And I literally went and I said, I didn't say anything. I just walked away, and my heart sunk, my stomach fell. I was literally about to pass out, throw up. Literally, if you have ever felt rejection that hard, you know how it feels. But it was like 10 times harder than normal rejection. Then, a couple weeks later, I still have a crush on this one guy that, like, he's like, I personally think he's the cutest guy in high school. Anyways, I had a massive crush on him, and everyone knew, like, and he had a friend in one of our classes, and she was a girl, by the way. And she asked him, she was like, do you like her? And he's like, no. So before the math test starts, he literally screams in class, he says, and I don't like you. And I'm like, and everyone started laughing, everyone was looking at me, and that was another rejection. And I was literally done. I was done with everything. I was done. I was tired, exhausted, annoyed. I was just tired and done. And I was like, what is going on? And by the way, I still struggle with having crushes on guys. And I still struggle with a bunch of that stuff. And I still struggle with that. And I don't know if that's maybe going to be a challenge for the rest of my life. But I still struggle with it. And it's still pretty hard for me to this day. Like, I struggled with it over this weekend. And it's going to be hard for me probably to the day I die. And I was just so annoyed, and I was just so aggravated, and so, I don't want to say depressed, but I low-key kind of was. I was just depressed. I would come home, scroll on my phone, find more crazy things, and I would just kept on crying and screaming at God, and I was kept on praying, and I was like, God, why is this happening? Why are you punishing me for this? What is going on? And at that time, I was a very sinful person, and I still am now, because we are not all perfect. And I was still a sinful person to that day. And I was still annoyed, and I was still tired, and I was still just aggravated with God, and I was just so annoyed. Part 2 coming soon.